What's good, y'all? This is C, Certified Brewhead, and welcome to BAOS Podcast, not the podcast. This is a whole new segment called What's in My Fridge. People keep asking, what are you drinking? What do you have in the fridge? I feel like it comes up a lot on Instagram and on social media, mostly because I guess I'm still doing the reviews. You can hit me up on that on Instagram at CWEFOR. They're all there. So I figured, you know what? I'm just going to pick my 10 favorite beers that I have in the fridge right now that I'm most looking forward to, that could be interesting to y'all. So I assume most of us brewheads, beer nerds, whatever, have our own little beer fridge. When I started the blog in like 2011, the beers were just clogging up the food fridge, so I was like, all right, I gotta get one of these bad boys, and it's pretty much, I've mostly kept it full ever since. So this bad boy, I just came back from Ontario over Christmas, so I got a bunch of stuff I'm pretty excited about. So here's what's going on here. So first things first, shout outs to Lost Craft. This is their revival at Kolsch Ale. I keep this stocked at all times, as you can see. We call these the Crushers. So people would come over and they'll be like, hey, can I have a beer or whatever? And I've got a fridge full of beer, but I can't offer them anything. So that kind of got awkward after a while. So now we have all the Lost Crafts, and it's dope. People come over, you can get one of these little solid ales. So this is actually one of the top picks from the LCBO in 2016. So shout out to Shahan and the team. They did really well with this bad boy, and they have 2 new beers coming soon, so keep an eye out for those. This is a Mill Street Illuminari. It's a cuvee, a raspberry cuvee, 11%. So it's a big boy. My brother had this one on New Year's, and he said it was pretty intense. I'm super excited for this one. It's as you can sort of tell, it's meant for like a celebration style ale, made with champagne yeast and ale yeast as well. So Notion did say it's pretty intense. It's pretty, like, he shared it with his missus, and he could barely finish it still. So I think it's more like of a for a group, you could probably get 4 or 5 people out of this bad boy. Definitely keen. Mill Street have been making a few cool seasonals and one-offs like this recently, so I'm excited for that one. This bad boy, so there's a brew pub in Toronto called Burdock, who, shout outs to Burdock, we'd love to get you guys on the podcast. So I went in the other day, and they're one of the few breweries who have a tap room and a bottle shop, and they don't have any distribution elsewhere, so you have to only get it from there, and I really love that. So I just grabbed one of everything that they had, and this guy is their Brett Peach. I would assume it doesn't really say anything else on the bottle at all. This was quite expensive, like $15 for this one, which is on the higher end of the scale. I don't know much about it. I assume it's some form of saison, of course, made with Brett and peaches, so I'm excited for that. And it says in collaboration with Escarpment Lab, so that must be the yeast company. I have heard of them, so super amped for him. This guy, so we're here in Montreal right now, and excuse me. A few blocks up the street here is Dieu, Ciel, which is, it doesn't matter where you are, you should pretty much know them. So sometimes I can get their stuff in bottles. Usually we just go to the brew pub. But this one here, Genèse, I guess, is a triple with apricots, 9%. Dieu, Ciel are just phenomenal with their big beers, and anything with fruit, particularly apricots, peaches, I don't know why, like, I'm super into them. So a triple with apricots, this is going to be sexy. I'm super amped for that one. My boy Pierre, who works at Glutenberg, one of the brewers at Glutenberg, gave me this one on my birthday last year, actually. So I've been sort of sitting on it, not really aging it, but just sitting on it. But it's an Imperial Stout. Glutenberg is a gluten-free brewery based out of Montreal. Super good. If you're in the States, they're pretty much everywhere, and they've won a whole ton of awards for gluten-free beers. They're super dope. So I've never had a gluten-free stout before, let alone an Imperial one. It's 8%. Apparently it's fantastic. Cocoa nibs in there, candy syrup, millet and buckwheat are the main guys for the grains. So been really looking forward to try this one. I've been sort of I wanted to try it with Scott, so we might even do it on a podcast, because I know he was excited to give that a crack. This guy is one from Australia, so we brought that back last summer when we went to Australia. This is from a brewery called Mornington, Peninsula Brewery, which was on episode 28, I believe, of the podcast. This is their Imperial IPA. This is phenomenal. This is my last can. I'm actually saving this for Claude Demers, who is the festival director of Bières de Saveur in Chambly that we always go to every year. So Claude, this is for us, buddy. This is the, we're going to be splitting this tiny little guy, but I'm excited for Claude to try it because this is one of the best Imperial IPAs I've ever had. Super big fan of that one. All right, so you guys are going to not be too happy with me for this one, but I have a Heady Topper, and this was from our Vermont trip in, I think it was late September or early October or something. Dave, do you know what it was? Yeah, late September. So I know I'm supposed to drink it within a month. I'm an idiot. I know that. It was just, I don't know. I just feel like I had no intention of really going back immediately, so I kind of hung on to it, knowing that it's supposed to go off. To be honest, I was like, whatever, man. Like, people say that it's gonna be fine, and it's totally not fine. We had a focal banger like when we got back from Toronto on like January 2nd or something. The flavors have definitely dissipated. The hop profiles have gone down a bit. So I know this one now is what 3 odd months old, maybe a little over. So I'm probably gonna have this. I might even have it tonight, or I'll have it really soon. But it's not that bad. I gave one to Notion, my brother, as well, when I came back, and he only had his like last week, and he said it was fine, but he's not super experienced with Heady, so he still enjoyed it. It's still good. It's a great beer, but you can really tell that it's a little old. Now this guy, I only picked this. Whoa, the perils of beer fridges. So I picked this up when Notion was in town a couple of days ago. So I've been seeing everybody talk about this, and I've just never seen it. So Unibroue, also one of the bigger breweries out of Montreal. I'm pretty sure you guys would have heard of them if you're in the States or elsewhere. I think, you can get them in Australia and in England and stuff. This is their Megadeth beer, a Tout le Monde, which is a Saison. Made, I don't know, I'm just fascinated with the beers that are made in conjunction with bands a lot. I know there's the I think the Iron Maiden with Robinsons in the UK. I wasn't a huge fan of those beers, but I just like the fact that bands and musicians are getting involved with breweries. There's a bunch in here in Canada that have done it. Flying Monkeys have done it a bunch. I know Spearhead did the Sam Roberts Ale. So I think that's super cool. Being a musician primarily, I think it's it appeals to me. So I haven't heard anything specifically whether this is good or bad, but it's dry hop Saison, and it's a 4.5%. So I'm excited for this one. I think that's going to be a great beer. What else? Okay, so this guy, this unlabeled bad boy, we did a podcast, episode 38 with Avant-Garde and Jukebox. So this is actually I think it was a second or third test batch of a triple that Avant-Garde is doing. It hasn't been dry hopped yet. Sean and Renault, they gave us a couple of these, so we tried one, and I really enjoyed it. All their beers are so good. I'm excited to see what this one's going to be like when it's dry hopped. I can't remember what hops they said they were going to use, but either way, it's going to be phenomenal. They didn't give us a name either, but the little secret bad boy. It's always cool to get this type of stuff ahead of the game. So I guess look out for this one in stores in Quebec soon time. What else did I have? Okay, this guy. So when I went to Burdock and got one of everything, this one very much grabbed my eye. It's a Vermont Blond. I asked the dude behind the counter what the deal was with it, so I'm fairly sure it was just using Vermont yeast. 4.4%, so and it looks kind of cloudy as well. So I'm excited about this. I actually had a Vermont IPA from Common Good, which is a brewery in Scarborough, outside of Toronto, and they and it very much had that sort of that Vermont kind of flavor, with, for lack of better wording for it, like kind of like the Alchemist range a little bit, maybe Lawson's and stuff, Fiddlehead. So I'm excited to see what this is like in a blonde, and I think it was super dope that an Ontario brewery who isn't, it's not super close to Vermont, what they, that they've gone ahead and done something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that was pretty much everything. And as a bonus, in case I did slip up and forget one, shout outs to Nathan. He was one of our contest winners on the on the Instagram contest, and he brought me back this Aromatherapy Pale Ale from Beyond the Pale. Maybe it's an IPA, my bad. It's an IPA. He brought me a couple cans, saved one, so I know it's probably going to be drank fresh. I actually would like, if anyone has a comparable beer that I should do a versus video for with this guy. I wasn't sure what to do this with, so if there's anyone, any like Ontario or Quebec beer that's that's similar to this, let me know. So that's it. This is what's in my fridge right now, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe on YouTube. If you haven't checked out the podcast, head over to iTunes. All the information's in the description there. Subscribe to that, check that out. Hit us up on social media at BAOS Podcast. And also check us out on BrewStuds. We are brewstuds.com. We're going to be posting all that stuff there now, so head over there and, tell them we sent you. Thanks, guys. Cheers.